Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the Guardian, and welcome to the Collector's Archive, where we look at games long since past and find out if they still hold up to this day. Today, we have an interesting little visual novel by the name of Analouge, a hate story. It's created by the studio Love Conquers All Games. Bit of a strange one, admittedly, but heck, you're not going to forget it anytime soon, are you? As far as I can tell, it's not a particularly long game, nor a particularly old one. It came out in 2012, so it's about, 3 years old? Then again, my maths has always been my weakest point, so wouldn't put it past me to have buggered up that, but either way, delve into a game, you know what, we'll go, since it's already up, basic menu screen, music volume, effects volume, on screen, that, text speed, resolution, all particularly nice resolutions. It's not all spectacular, it's not, it only goes to 1024, 64, so yeah, resolution doesn't go into 1080p, but you can hardly complain. Like I said, it's a visual novel where you're going to do mostly reading, so graphical fidelity isn't as spectacularly high on the list of things. 4 pages of saves though, which I admit is quite nice. I've only filled up a couple because I'm exceedingly paranoid about missing out on a massively important, critically sort of thing. But yeah, so let's load into that one. Right, here we go. Welcome to the game, ladies and gentlemen. It's not a particularly complicated thing. Basically, this is your game. It's an interface, and you read documentation to discover the story and find out what's going on. So I'll take this one for example. Enter here. Bunch of text to read through. That's actually quite a lot of text. But yeah, bunch of text read through. This is it. You're basically an investigator who has been sent off to a ship that has been seen floating around in orbit. A former Earth colony ship, from what I've gathered. Something bad happened about 900 years ago, give or take, and you're trying to find out what indeed happened. And you come across this lovely little AI by the name of Hyune, but I could have also buggered that up. From what I've gathered, it's mostly Korean. I assume it's a Korean game. I should have probably looked into the background of the studio, but given that a lot of it's about Korean history and this, that, and the name escaped. Culture. Bloody hell, that was a long one. But yeah, mostly Korean culture and history and whatnot, and it's all very nice. Well, it's not nice. But the history and the cultural side, yes. The story, however, quite dark, and a lot of touchy subjects are brought up, which may or may not show up throughout this video. But yeah, I'm actually deeply enjoying the story so far. To be honest, I wanted to get this video done sooner, but I got a little too wrapped up in everything. But yeah, everything hinges around you, who is technically the main character investigating these things. You is just a figment, you don't actually exist. You're not even on board the ship, really. You're sort of remote linked into it. And two artificial intelligence. Hyune, once again, I've probably ballsed up that pronunciation. And Mute, who is the security AI, who we shall meet shortly, I'm sure. Due to in-game information of you cannot use the typing interface outside of a sort of command prompt, everything's done in sort of binary decisions. The AI will ask you a question and you say yes or no, and then you follow that tree until you reach the inevitable ending, which is one of 5 endings from what I've gathered. But yeah, I always like to go for the best one in these. Also, it seems to be partially romance, so you can indeed end up with the AIs if you were that way inclined. Which I most certainly am, and hence I'm going to go for the harem ending because I've already looked that up. Spoiled it a bit, maybe, but I don't know. That's just the way I play these sorts of games. Yes, as I mentioned, we also have an override terminal where we gain control of a command prompt, and we can use this to do bits and pieces. So for one example, if I want to change Hyune's costume or outfit, let's see, costume change, school girl, why not? Oops. What word did it? Oh, right, it's change outfit, isn't it? Change outfit. There we go. Go. There we go. That's done. Quit. And now Hyuna is now dressed as a schoolgirl. It's anime. What do you expect? But yeah, no, I quite like that little interface. It's nothing overly complicated, and it has a little help list, and you get to do nice little touches like unblocking access logs and decrypting things. And you don't find yourself going to it very often, but for the most part, it's quite nice. Yeah, pretty simple game all in itself. Read text logs, investigate, and then unlock text logs as you go along and try and find out, solve the mystery of everything, find out what's going on. Find out who killed the crew, as, well, it's fairly obvious early on that everybody on the ship was murdered. That's not what I was looking for, is it? No, right. I did mention before that some touchy subjects are touched upon in this game, and well, here is one of them. Men are honoured and women are abased. It does make you think, this game, on a few levels that I'm actually quite impressed about. It's a case of a game actually teaching you stuff, but in a fun way. I don't know, I have massive respect for games that can actually teach me things and keep me entertained at the same time. It's probably why I enjoy Assassin's Creed so much. Learned a lot of history from that. Also learned a lot of bad game design, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, here we go. Born 275, died 322. There is actually a reason why the yearing system is so skew with. I mean, officially the year is something like 2945 when the events of this game are happening. But the ship had a massive catastrophe partway through its voyage, and everything was reset to 0, so the years started counting up, and somewhere along those lines, everything reverted back to a sort of, I don't know, shogunate era sort of effect where you have head houses with servants and women are ground into the dirt and only expected to honour their husbands and this, that, the other, and it ended up as a massive mess. And in wandered the Pale Bride, who really, I'm not going to spoil anything here, but you really do see the depth of darkness within this game's story simply through the Pale Bride storyline. It's one of these things that you'll have to play for yourself to find out. Controls, pretty basic. Can do everything with just the mouse. Well, no, that's a lie. I suppose you can do... It does require mouse and keyboard. You could play with just keyboard, but I found that a bit tricky. Keyboard basically just for the command line interface, and then the rest of the game's just played by mouse. Just perfectly fine. Art style, exceedingly basic art style, but I do like the design of the AIs. I'm sorry, I'm just a sap for an anime girl, it seems, but very pretty. And they've already managed to win me over. So I know that's not an easy... no, it's not a particularly difficult thing to do with me, but each to their own. Sorry, Hyuna. Show you... no, bad. No, don't want to do that. There we go. There we go. Well, and here is the other AI I mentioned at the start. Mute, who is the security AI. Who has fangs. And sort of looks like a cat. I also like her. But yeah, no, it's brilliant. Yeah. I know there's a lot of just me going yes and stuff, and this game, the game's not really the most complicated or complex game. Well, no, that's a lie. It is complex in many ways, but on a design level, not so much. It's a nice little fun visual novel to play through, and if you, it's not expensive, and to be honest, I highly recommend this game to anyone out there. Yeah, no, this game comes with my highest recommendation. If you can buy it, admittedly there is a lot of reading, so I suppose in that regards, if you don't like reading so much, it's really not the sort of game for you. If you do like a good mystery though, a bit of a dark tale, fair amount of writing and a lot of investigation. I suppose Ace Attorney comes to mind. If you enjoy the Ace Attorney series, this game's for you. It's dark, it's a bit witty, admittedly not so many pop culture references, but other than that, yeah, I do like. This game has won me over in the 3 hours I have played it. And I think I'm going to enjoy it for coming back to it every so often for a very long time. Yeah. Analouge, A Hate Story, ladies and gentlemen, by Love Conquers All Games. Price, currently available on Steam for £7. Great British currency, $10 US, or your regional equivalent. I've been The Guardian, and thank you very much for watching. Be safe out there.